folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who's committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me today, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've got a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. And if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have the right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do it. If you do that, these proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Everybody raise your right hand. Very good. Solemnly swear, affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Lori Dinger. Ms. Dinger, what's your date of birth?
8/7/1959.
Lori, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Defender, please.
I'll appoint the public defender. State, what can you tell me?
First officer.
All right. Lori, I have an address for you on Stonehenge Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
7 years.
Okay. And does Mr. Cowden live there as well?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm a CNA.
Okay.
I work at Spring Hill Rehab on Cortez.
Okay. All right. So, Lori, I'm going to set your bond at $10. Condition of the bond, however, is that you're going to have no contact with Patrick while this case is pending. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact him through any social media. You don't have a third person contact him. Don't go where he lives, don't go where he works. Don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. He may tell them he's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who will be handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they're not dropped and you should not have contact. As far as the Stonehenge Street address goes, Lori, if Patrick continues to stay there, you'll have to find somewhere else to stay until we get this case resolved. You can go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to stay. But to do that, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'll meet you there with a deputy, and you'll have a few minutes to grab your things and get going where you're going. I'm going to have you back in court on November 14th. It's very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Moira O'Leary. Miss O'Leary, what's your date of birth?
4/6/72.
Moira, I have two charges. I've got possession of controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Ricky goes back about 5-6 years. Grand Theft Auto, that looks like drop.
drug possession, cocaine, petty theft, violation of probation. There is a Pasco case from March 2017, a grand theft. It might still be open. There's Pasco.
Okay. Moira, are you on probation out of Pasco County right now?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Is your case still open down there, or did you complete that case?
It's still open.
Okay. All right. I have an address for you on Lodgepole Pine Drive in Dade City. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
13 years.
Do you have a job these days?
I take care of my elderly father and my 13-year-old son.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave your bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on the cocaine, $1,000 on the paraphernalia. That's a total of $3,000. You'll be back on the 13th of November. They might have told you the 14th. The right date is the 13th. Do you have a lawyer representing you on your Pasco case, Moira?
No, I have a public defender.
Well, that's a lawyer. They go to law school, too.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm just sticking up for them. It's one of the things I do. You need to contact that person right away and tell them about these charges, all right? Because these can complicate those. And if the court in Pasco County finds out about these, they might revoke your bond on your Pasco case. So you got to contact your PD in Pasco right away. If you bond out, you got to contact your PD here right away, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Angela Taylor. Angela, what's your date of birth?
1979.
Angela, I have two issues this morning. First is a warrant signed by Judge Angelitis. He found probable cause for a violation of domestic violence injunction. The second is a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on a charge of possession of controlled substance. So there's probable cause on both cases. As to those cases you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD on both cases. State, give me some history, if you would, please.
Yeah, it goes back for less than 10, 15 years. Burglary, assault, resisting without bad checks, failure to appear, drug, child neglect, shoplifting, firearm by felon, aggravated battery, battery second conviction, conditional release violations, making false reports, drug possession, and that's this case.
Okay. All right. Then, Angela, what we're going to do on the FDA, Judge Merritt's warrant, he set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. I'll have you back in front of him in that case on the 13th of November. On the violation of domestic violence injunction, I'll set a bond of $2,000. Condition of that, condition of that bond is that you'll have no contact with Cassandra Doig. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes.
And you understand that?
Yes.
Very good. That case is coming back on the 14th of November. I think they told you the 13th on that one, but the right date on that one is the 14th. The felony case is coming back on the 13th. Public defender is going to come see you at the jail about both your cases, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Joshua Jones. Well, Mr. Jones, what's your date of birth?
3/1985.
All right, Josh, I have a warrant for you out of Pasco County. The judge who signed the warrant found probable cause for a violation of probation. Set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll let Pasco know that you're here and ready to go. I'll give them 5 days to come get you. It just doesn't take 5 days with Pasco. But if for some strange reason you're still here in 5, they'll bring you back to see me and I'll find out what the holdup is, okay?
All right, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Good luck. Corey Langley. Morning, Corey. What's your date of birth?
Good morning. 11/02/89, sir.
Okay. Corey, the charge is trespass on school grounds. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire a private counsel? Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I really don't know what to do, sir. I don't have much going on.
Okay. Well, Corey, then let me appoint a lawyer to represent you, so you'll have somebody to talk to, and they can help you understand what's going on. Okay?
I have a question, sir.
Okay. Well, if the questions are about the charge you got, you shouldn't ask those today because this isn't the time for that. Like I said, I'm happy to assign a lawyer to represent you, and then when you get out, you can meet with the lawyer and discuss what's going on. Okay?
I was trying to see if I could get out today.
Well, Corey, that's what I'm here for. That's what we're going to try to do. But the first question I have to ask you is if you want to have a lawyer, and I would desperately like you to tell me that you're okay with having a public defender, and then we can move on to what we need to do to get you out today. Okay?
That's fine, sir. I'm going with the procedure. I didn't.
No, you're doing fine. I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. State any history.
Oh, yes.
That's great. Excellent, sir.
Hang on.
Yeah, it goes back a while. A lot of drugs, pot, resisting without. He's been to prison a couple of times. For drugs, grand theft, selling drugs, possession of oxy, possession of coke, here, false ID. Disappearing just at 60 days. Summer for marijuana.
Okay.
Judge, I was just going to ask, based on the nature of the offense, if this was something we could take care of with time served, or
To be honest with you, Josh, I don't think we could do it. And I don't think I could do a knowing involuntary at the moment.
I hear you.
So.
Yeah, the record's really good.
Okay. Corey, where have you been staying lately?
My father has a place on 509 Sharon Street.
Okay. And do you have a job? Do you have a job of any kind these days?
I've been keeping up with side hustles.
Okay.
Every day I get up, I have a side hustle keeping up with dogs. I have a side hustle washing cars. I have a side hustle cutting lawns.
Okay.
You know,
when I was a kid, we called them odd jobs. Now they call it a side hustle. It's a lot cooler.
What's it called?
Side hustle.
Odd jobs.
Side hustle. Yeah.
Side hustle.
Odd jobs.
All right, Corey. I'm gonna leave your bond at the $500. That means if you call a bondsman, you can probably get out for $100. I'll have you back in court on the 14th of November. If you get out, contact the public defender's office right away. Okay?
Sir, I have no one to bond me out.
Corey, that's not going to change anything. $500 is the right bond. Okay? Thank you.
Mr. Langley, this is Josh Alexander from the PD's office. We'll have somebody else see you from our office within the next few hours and see if there's something we can do to speed the case along for you, okay?
I really need help, sir.
All right, we'll have somebody out within the next few days by the end of the week to see you, okay?
All right. Albert Monroe.
3182.
Thank you, Albert. Albert, you're here on a couple of warrants out of Glades County. The judge or judges that signed these warrants found probable cause for 4 counts, fraud by false personation, grand theft, fraudulent use of credit card, and abuse or neglect of an elderly disabled person. They set bonds on those of $30,000, $2,500, $10,000, and $10,000 respectively, for a total of $52,500. I can't change those bonds, Albert. If you're able to post them, then you can get out of jail here, go back to Glades County, find out when they want you in court. If you can't post them, then we're going to let Glades know you're ready to go. I'll give them 5 days to come get you. If you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what the holdup is, okay?
All right, thank you.
Well, you have to deal with that. There you go. And Anthony Danisi. Morning, Anthony. What's your date of birth?
12/16/80.
First thing I have, Anthony, is a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt Sr., actually. Apparently you failed to appear on a charge of possession of controlled substance. Then I have a new charge of possession of methamphetamine. I've got a child support writ, too, but we'll get to that in a minute. As to the criminal cases, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you tell me.
A lot of driving suspended, violation of probation. It seems probably child support related because he's got contempt priors. in 2015 battery, just 2017 the drug charge, which looks like he had got BTI. That's probably what the open case is, and then the bags will be. It seems to be something out of state, but I don't. It says multi-source, but I don't see what the out-of-state issues are.
Okay.
Because most of his history here goes back before 2000.
Okay. Anthony, where you been staying?
At a friend's house.
Okay. Do you know the address for that friend's house?
8167 WordPress.
Okay. And do you have a job these days?
They've been doing lawn cutting off the books.
Okay. Okay. On the fail to appear, the bond on the warrant is 2,000. I can't change that. We'll send that one back to court on the 13th of November. And then on the meth, they both have court on the 13th? That seems unlikely.
If it was a Merit Senior FTA, then
It's got to be toner.
So the new case should go to toner as well.
And what's a good toner date?
I know we've got court next, but that's probably too soon.
Well, his page 3 say the 13th in courtroom E and the 13th in courtroom D. Are they having criminal court on the same day? I didn't think they did that.
Occasionally when the holidays schedule
Okay.
cases with things.
Hold on 1 second.
I know there's November 26th.
I don't want to go that far if we don't have to.
And I know there's 10/22, which may be too soon.
Well,
I know that the new charge was given the Judge Merritt date.
Everything new is the 13th for Judge Merritt.
Right, so it should be, do you want that case to go back to challenge the new case with the other case?
That's what I want to do, but the toner case also says the 13th of November. That's what I'm confused about.
Would we be able to do 10/22 for now and then sort it out from there, Judge?
the only reason why I think that'd be fine is because this is an old case. It's
Yeah.
probably already been filed on. So
Okay, so 10/22 works?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do with both your cases, Anthony, the total bond is $4,000 on these cases. I'm going to move it, both of them, to October 22nd. So they'll be in the same place at the same time. Then the other issue I have here for you is this writ of bodily attachment. What that is that's a circuit judge and a child support hearing officer determined that you owe some child support. And they set a cash purge of let's see, $469. Do you have $469 for child support, Anthony?
Not on me, sir.
Okay. All right. And with the $4,000 I just said in the criminal cases, is there any chance you're going to be bonding out before the 22nd, or are you going to be staying in jail?
I have no idea, sir.
Okay. All right. What I'll do on the child support writ is I'll set a cash purge of $100. So I'll find you in contempt for the fail to pay child support, sentence you to 10 days in the county jail, and with a cash purge of $100. So whatever it would cost you to bond out on the criminal cases would be another $100 cash to get out on the child support writ, or you can do 10 days on the child support writ. Okay.
Sure.
Very good. Thank you. And jail, anybody else there for me?
No, sir. Thank you.
Very good. Let's go. All right.